let's kick off the first topic, which of course is our victory over Liverpool in the FA Cup quarterfinal. Man, what a match! Um, it's yeah, man. That match was just it was the one. You know what I mean? Like you want matches like that, in hindsight. Like obviously when you first watch it, emotions are high, there's frustration, Liverpool going ahead of us trying to get back the game, you know, it's all of that, all those events that are happening in the moment is so much, nerve-wracking and you just don't like it. You just want us to go there and win comfortably and but at the end of the day, you love it
Yeah.
when we get those victories. It just makes for a much bigger and a better story when you look back at it and you're like, wow, what a game. 4-3,
Mm, mm.
all the way into extra time,
Bruh.
and it just had that fairy tale ending of a last minute goal by a player that we've always wanted back into the team. And it oh man, it was one of those like fairy tale endings, the
Ah,
whole story, everything, when you speak about the entirety of the match and not just the match itself, because the story doesn't start with the match. It doesn't start with when the whistle is blown for kickoff, when it's blown for the end of 90 minutes, but the story starts much further back. These are the two biggest clubs in England and also the one of the two biggest clubs in Europe. You know, leading into this season as well, Jurgen Klopp, announcing that he's going to retire, Liverpool going for the quadruple, United just not doing the things this season. Like this storyline, this that was the finale. This FA Cup final was the finale to the series that's been taking place this whole time.
bruh.
And so it was a grand finale. We managed to shut down Liverpool from getting the treble, and it was a victory well deserved from us. And one other thing I wanted to point out was I know a lot of people, obviously Liverpool community and stuff like that. I know they've come out and said, "Oh no, our players were fatigued and stuff like that." Da 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 da. But there's a very interesting comment that someone made, and I'm gonna try to remember it while I'm saying this. But
Right?
he basically said that, um, why did Jurgen Klopp field a strong team during midweek when they already won that fixture?
Yes. Carry on.
You know, why did he do that? He could have rested the players. He could have played the B side. He could have come he could have given the players that he needed to go and get the job done a rest, but he decided not to, and some people are calling it cockiness, other people are calling it other things, but at the end of the day, it's not our fault that Liverpool, your guys, your manager just didn't do, the right thing out of whatever reasons he had, and he felt that he needed to go field his strongest team and not rest them for the game, which was obviously the important game because that game was already won. Why didn't he do that? That's on him and that's not on anybody else. But other than that, you can't take credit away from how Manchester United played. Also looking at the players that we were missing from our squad. I know Liverpool want to say no, we didn't have Allison. No, guys, come on, let's get real. Um,
He play in the Premier League. Liverpool.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So, I mean, you honestly can't use injuries and fatigue as an excuse.
Yeah.
That game was won fair and square. It could have gone either way. Both sides, big chances were missed. It was a good, entertaining game, and I think saying such things just like it spoils the mood
It does.
of it spoils the mood of the game, of everything, for you to come with such an excuse to say, oh no, but it's because this and this and that. Because us United fans, we went into that game fully acknowledging that we're a lesser team than Liverpool. We have injuries, all of this, all of that, but it still never gave us a reason not to believe we're going to win that match. We didn't start off that match by saying, guys, I don't think we're going to win this match because we've got this player out, that player out, that player out. No, we went into this match and we're like, we're Manchester United and we're going to beat Liverpool tonight. And Jurgen Klopp can forget about winning the treble on our account. You check. So for Liverpool fans to come after the match and, bring out an excuse and say, oh no, but our players were fatigued. That's why we couldn't get the job done. Shut up and sit down. Because if you guys won the match, what were you going to say?
Yeah. It
Where
would
you're
have
gonna
been a
say
different story. Like they would have been
this
hailed as
story.
legends.
Exactly, exactly. Like the whole thing of fatigue would have not even come up. There was not going to be a headline of, "Oh, imagine Liverpool beat United and they were fatigued." No, it
No,
was going to be like Liverpool have
United.
the fit and the stamina.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's what the storyline was going to be. They're going to be like, look how fit Liverpool players are, how they can play weekend, midweek, and then still come and beat Manchester United. That's what the headline was going to be. It was going to have to do nothing with these guys will fatigue, but they still managed to get the job done. No, those words are never gonna come out. But yeah, man. What do you have to say about the match before we get, more into what happened and like just the whole feeling about it, like, from start to end, the whole storyline.
But I've never been so pumped up for a game. It had been a while since I'd been pumped up for a game like I was this Liverpool game. I just
Yeah,
it felt different. And whether people would like to believe it or not, whether they understand it or not, I can't
yeah,
explain it. I mean,
yeah,
during the build-up D, I mean, you and I, we predicted a win for this
yeah,
game before. Like we were like,
yeah,
nah, these guys will win. I think the predictions we gave were an increment of
yeah,
1-0, like 3-2, 2-1, one
yeah,
0 You know, we
yeah,
were we were bouncing around that area, and we're like, "Nah, this is why we're
yeah.
going to win. This is why we should win." You understand?
Exactly.
So going into the game, we were already.
Yeah,
But bruh, the only thing that I can say about that game
yeah,
is first of all, that was a box office cinema. Like the
yeah, yeah,
blockbuster of
yeah,
I know Liverpool and Man City have gone toe to toe and they've played some incredible games. I'm not like
yeah.
trust me, I've seen those games, I remember them, I'll never forget them because those games were so intense. But dude,
Mm,
there was something about this game that just was just amazing. Because it started off,
yeah,
with obviously everybody timid tactics. Yes, we started off on the front foot. Like we were intending to score. There was an intent, like we're going to fucking
yeah,
score, and then we're going to be on the front foot throughout the game. And then so there was that
yeah,
element of like, yes, there's gonna be some tacticalness about this game. Pa 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 pa. Bruh, for me, the game turned on its head when all that shit was thrown out the window. It's like, you
yeah,
know
yeah,
what? Anthony left back, Bruno center
yeah,
back, Maguire going
yeah,
strike. When I was seeing that stuff, I'm like, nah, man, this.
yeah,
If you guys don't win this game after doing all these things, like it's
yeah,
really going to drain the United fans because man, that game was lit. It was lit,
yeah,
bruh. I was having problems with neighbors and because of the yelling, and bruh, it was
yeah,
crazy that game. Lost my voice. Nah, it was
yeah.
it was one for the books, man. It was really one
No,
for
it
the
was.
books. Bruh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Nah, man, I hear you, man. Really happy, really proud how those boys played. I'm also happy that we're the ones who initiated the lead, really bringing the game to them and saying, look, man, if you guys think we're just gonna roll over and let you guys just walk by past us in this match, you can forget about it. You can forget about it. We are coming. You guys have come here to our home. You know, like we're not going to allow you to get this to get what you want here. Nah, 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 nah. Not this. This is not some you know PL match, whatever. Not that PL not important, but yeah, man, this match was just too important
See,
for us to not win.
but it just bounced.
So,
It
jeez.
was just a small thought, but it was significant
Yeah,
to what you were saying.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah,
man, it was an intense game. And one thing I will give credit to the boys is what we want
mm,
from them. Like we want to see sweat, we want to see people. I mean, yeah, everybody was pulling their weight, even though there were some that didn't pull their weight as much as they should have. You know,
yeah,
you know what it is, it's like it's hard to actually go in on those serious problems that are in our squad because of that
Yeah.
game, of the way it went. Like it's like, dude, cool, we get it, but man, we beat Liverpool. This was a quarterfinal. It was intense. We knocked them off their perch. No more quadruple, blah blah blah. So don't look too much into the game. But then it's those kind of moments where it's like, nah, but we need to look at these issues because we don't, and we don't address them. Come and let's team, we will be asking ourselves the same questions like, why aren't we putting away these people? Or why aren't we doing this?
Yeah.
And then we all go up in a and lose our minds. But then against Liverpool, just because we won that game, you guys completely forgot. You forgot the football that was being played. It wasn't tantalizing. It
Yeah.
wasn't. Yeah, there were mistakes. There were those things that we complain about that were still there. So,
Mm.
with that being said, I just needed to say something about Rashford because,
Mm.
man, yes, he scored the equalizer. Or was it the equal? No, the third goal. The third goal equalizer. I forgot. No, third goal.
It was the equalizer. It was third goal, which yes, in turn was the equalizer.
But important goal. He came out at the right moment. But
Yeah.
he needs to sharpen his tools. It is now becoming disgusting how they are failing to put away small things because D, there's no it's really not fair putting your team in situations like that. When you can put away a chance or close the ball and then you don't do it and then you fluff it, I can get out this frustration that I don't know what to say to articulate it, but that is a problem for me. It's annoying me. I don't know if
Yeah.
that makes any sense. And I don't know
Yeah.
if going forward, I don't know if it's going to improve. I don't know if we're going to play Liverpool in the Premier League, when it's not going to go into extra time, when it's not going to go into that 120 minutes. Is he going to get that chance to put these goals away? Because we'll be given 90 minutes in the
Yeah.
Premier League and then plus minus 10 minutes. You know what I mean? So do we always have to wait for him? Like, do we have to wait so long for these guys? And throughout the game, he's had so many chances. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, sorry, dog. Like that was just something I just needed to say out. I know
Nah,
it makes
man,
no
I
sense,
get you.
but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's a frustration that I can't seem to. I don't
Yeah, to
know.
shake off.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, man, I get you. In the previous episode, we spoke about Andre Onana, and we're like, you know what? As soon as you come to the terms that he's gonna concede goals, the easiest gonna be for you to start watching his game. And I think it's the same with Rashford, where I mentioned he's just returned back to his default. So when Rashford goes and pulls stuff like that, for me, this is Rashford. Last season was just I don't know. It was just a special season for him, I guess. But otherwise, this is what I expect from Rashford. I can't get annoyed anymore. I know that, he has never been a clinical finisher. Last season, I don't know what drugs he was on. I don't know what he was on to
He
just
was
be like
peaceful.
pinpoint accurate all the time, you know. And guys, obviously when I'm saying drugs, I'm not saying that Rashford went, I'm not insinuating, but you know what I mean. I don't want freaking
Calm down.
articles.
He doesn't mean. Uh-uh.
You know, no, no, no. You guys know what I mean. But yeah, so last season was just a special season from Marcus Rashford. But this season, he's probably going to like pull the numbers which are his average, which is anything between 8 to 13 goals a season, anything between 3 to 6 assists a season. That's his average. That's what you should expect. So yeah, man. I think on my side, I'm past that thing of watching him and getting frustrated and why
You know,
yeah, he's back to default.
I never actually
So
thought about putting Rashford in that category. It's even,
yeah.
listening to you explain that was so painful in the sense that, damn,
Mm.
is this how much this boy has fallen? Like, to a point where D's like, you couldn't care less. Like, D's like, hey, man,
And Ben,
where you
it's
want
not
to
even that he
go
has fallen. It's not even
past
that he
this
has fallen.
21
He
drop.
has just come back to where he is. He has
Before,
just dropped to his. I'm not saying he's dropped to his level. He's just come back to his level. That's it.
Yeah,
It's not like he has dropped whatever. No, it's just him being him. You know, like I said, last season was just I don't know what it was. But other than that, he has just come back to what he is. You check. So he hasn't dropped. He hasn't improved. He's just Rashford. This season we've just got Rashford. That's it.
last season, the way the COVID, the way he rose
Okay.
to where he
Yeah.
is, could you easily say that that's how he is? Like, could you say that he's like, what, what were you cut? I don't know if I'm question because you're saying he's just come back to his normal self. So
Yeah.
this normal self that we know of Rashford is a goal scorer. Or am I wrong in thinking that?
What evidence? What evidence suggests Rashford is is the player that he was last season? Last season, he overcome everything that anyone could have ever imagined that he could produce. Do you get what I mean, Ben? When you look at players like Bo, Van Persie and Rooney and Van Nistelrooy, and these guys were just 20 plus a goal season strikers. That was just standard. Do you get what I'm saying, Ben? That's what you expected. That's what we got. You know, and you could and that was very evident over time. With Rashford, it's just been up and down, but it's been hovering around like a certain, average of, this is what you can expect from him. That's why I gave that range of, if we're talking about in the PL, we're looking at between maybe 8 to 12. In all competitions, maybe, yeah, you can say, anything between 15 and 20, but, just Premier League itself, we're looking at about 8 to 15.
Mm,
Um, if we're looking at assists again, 3 to 6, 3 to 8, whatever. Last season, he just over exceeded everybody's expectations, And I think because Rashford has always been that dynamic player that has contributed so much into the game, even though his contributions haven't always resulted to goals or assists, maybe just disrupting the defense, beating defenders, playing balls in the box, XYZ, XYZ, or maybe getting crucial goals that we needed in very specific games. I think a lot of people, see Rashford in this different light in a light that is not actually in a realm that he doesn't, he shouldn't even. I don't want to say shouldn't belong in, but you get my point,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
So yeah, so like a lot of people are disappointed. Oh, Rashford has dropped. He's lost form. Like no, he's just back to being normal Rashford.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
like I said, he's probably gonna end the season what he usually averages on every season that he has played for Manchester United. It's only that one COVID season where him and Martial, managed to get I think 18 goals each in the PL, or was it collectively or whatever, and then of course last season, and that's it. Those are his only two highlight seasons. Other than that, he's just been averaging around that average, you know what I mean, mark. So
So
I don't know. I don't know what to say, more about that.
okay, just to end this Rashford thing. So moving forward, like
Yeah.
how do you think
Yeah.
or what do you think the United fans like how should we approach Rashford? Because one thing that we've known that is that he's not going to be sold, first of all. That
Yeah,
guy
he's
has
not he's
been
not getting sold.
here
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
ages.
Everyone can just
Yeah, he's not gonna be sold. He's always gonna be here. He's always gonna be Rashford. He's got that number 10, which I feel
exactly.
like the more I'm just like, dude, you're disrespecting Waza. You're disrespecting the number 10s that have donned that shirt, and
Yeah.
I'm what's how should the fans perceive Rashford? Like, what's the way forward? Because he's always going to frustrate us. But how do we not frustrate ourselves? Do we do what you're saying? Just say, listen, this guy is an average player. Let's stop claiming or glorifying him in a way that makes him look like he's a superstar. Nah, he's like Dan
Yep.
James. He's just like
Yep.
every other
Yep.
normal fucking player. And let's treat
And
it like that.
The funny thing is, Ben, I remember some years ago, Arsenal fans used to get angry at me when I used to tell them that Theo Walcott, he's a good player.
Normal.
There's nothing amazing there. You know what I mean? You guys just you're losing yourself in the hype that he plays for Arsenal and the fact that he's fast,
Fastest.
and the fact
At
that
the
he is
time, he was the fastest
the fastest player
in the league.
probably in all leagues in the world,
Yeah,
So everyone got lost with that hype, And I always used to tell them that Nani has got better stats than Walcott. But don't come to me with Walcott. You know what I mean? Don't even mention Walcott and Nani in the same sentence because the stats it just Nani's stats eclipse Walcott's stats, and they used to be mad at me, fam. Angry. You don't know what you're talking about, you don't know what you're talking about. Where's Walcott now? You know
nah.
what I mean?
He's got his ponytail,
Like,
what chilling. I don't know where
dude,
he is. He's gained
like
weight.
he just had a very short stint in the light. And I think once the managers figured out that, you know what, there's actually nothing here apart from speed. You know what I
That
mean?
way.
Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing here apart from speed. And once you get found out, you get found out. You can have one good season, you know,
Mm.
and that's it. And that's the way I sort of see Rashford, right? Don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to discredit Rashford. He's a good player, and that's it. And that's where we need to leave it. People should not get lost in the hype. People should not get lost on how much is being paid. People should not get lost into his jersey number, into his story. People should not get lost into that. Yes, he has had some great accomplishments for the club. He's one of the few players that has scored more than 100 goals for the club. We can respect that. But apart from that, honestly,
Nah.
you know,
Not enough.
it's not enough.
Especially at
You know
this
what I mean?
level or at this
Yeah,
point in his career. He's supposed to be
exactly.
levels.
Yes, yes. At this point in his career, sorry, we should be talking like Mbappe stats. You know what I mean? This boy
Like,
should be on Mbappe's level, and he's no way near it. No way near Mbappe. So
like
I feel it's very much unfair and disrespectful for us to expect the output of Mbappe for Rashford. Do you get what I mean? Because if we're going to proclaim Rashford as this, like, I'm saying he's a good player, right? Other people may be saying no, he's this amazing player, blah blah blah, blah this and that. It's like cool, you know. But then why is he not producing those type of stats
he's
for
been
that player that you say he is? You get what I mean? Rashford and Mbappe, aren't they around the same age? Aren't they the same age? Didn't they start off at the same time? Weren't they in the same conversations about youngest up and coming young players in Europe? Do you get what I mean? When we've got players like Saka, who are way better than Rashford. You check. We've got players like Phil Foden who are younger than Rashford, and are doing the things. We've got players like Garnacho, who is clearly gonna become a way better player than Marcus Rashford, So the Rashford thing, he has been in Man United for like a long time. He's probably getting close to almost a decade, being in the first team. And, I guess because of his longevity in the first team, there's a certain expectation that we want, especially given the type of salary that he's earning. It's like, okay, you've been at this club for such a long time. Why haven't you got that level that you should be at? And I think that's where the frustration is coming from. The frustration is why are you not this elite player, you know? And again, I think this is the anger shouldn't solely be, thrown towards Marcus Rashford because we know how this club, and I spoke about it before, how this club has just been a mess over the past decade,
yeah.
and just being different managers coming with different philosophies and bringing in different styles of play and moving players around. Rashford has played in almost all front three positions. If I'm not even mistaken, at some point, I think he even played as a number 10, you know, just behind Martial. He has played across the whole thing with no clear identity and no clear role. Because even when you ask someone now, what position does Marcus Rashford play? Everyone's going to be giving you all sorts of answers. I don't think you can ask three people in a row and all three of them will give you a definitive answer. Whereas if you ask someone, what position does Bruno Fernandes play? They'll tell you, number 10. You know what I mean? Center attacking midfielder. And he has been at the club less time than what Marcus Rashford has been at the club for. So Marcus Rashford is also suffering from that. position identity. Where does he belong? Is he a striker? Is he a forward? Is he a winger? What is he? And then it's only from when we can understand what position he actually plays, then it's much easier for us to pass judgment on him and say, if you're a striker, we expect this output. If you're a winger, we expect that type of output. Then it's easier for us to like really, make a much critical judgment on him. But as for now, it's difficult because it's just everywhere.
It was nice, man. Like, because I was thinking to myself, because you're like, he's got no identity. And the moment you said that, a certain "see" came into my mind, because I remember I gave an example. I was like, that guy is the one player in the entire world. I think he's the only one that mastered all front three, right, middle, as a striker, and left
Yep.
wing. Like, he can play
And
all those
deliver.
positions comfortably. He doesn't, and
Mm.
he's a right-footed player. So,
Yep.
and Rashford can't figure out one, one.
Dude.
I was having a chat with my little sister the other day. We were talking about people that master and hone in. I respect people that, yeah, you might be limited to what you're doing, but then your craft,
Yeah.
master it. You know what I mean? You master your craft. Like that dude in Demon Slayer, that electricity dude.
Yeah.
That guy's got
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
move,
Yeah.
right? But the
Yeah.
guy knows how to fucking terrorize you with that move. Like, he's mastered it to a
Yep.
point. Why can't Rashford
Yeah.
do the same thing?
Exactly.
Point in time, like, should we be having this conversation? Like, should we even be
Dude.
telling him, like, dude, can you really specialize in something? Because we really need to figure out what you did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we want to know. But I
Yeah.
think the biggest problem that's always going to affect the United fans and everybody is his salary. His salary doesn't reflect
Yeah.
the player that he is. And that will
Yeah.
always be the problem. Like, it will never sit well with people. If Rashford
Yep.
puts in a 5-star performance, they'll be like,
Mm.
maybe. But then if he keeps
Yeah.
doing the things that he's doing where he looks like he couldn't care less, that is a problem.
Mm.
You know what I mean? And
Yep.
there will always be that clash. But I think from the player himself, I don't think people could care any less. I mean, I think people couldn't care less um if he was like just a normal guy and earning, like the way you said, he's back to his
Yeah.
level, and he's just like
Yeah.
everybody else, like a Jesse Lingard, or you know what I mean? Yeah. But because
Yep.
he's MBE, Rashford saves starving
Yeah.
kids, age
Mm. Yeah.
becomes
Poster boy for United.
age.
So yeah, man. We're not hating,
Not
we're
anything.
just it's the reality of the situation, it really is just the reality of the situation. And unfortunately, it's that price tag, like you said, that's just the wages. Sorry, it's the wages that's just causing a lot of conflict because his performance is just not matching up to it.